Alright guys, I have no idea why it took so long to make this video. Um Probably because I don't even live in San Diego anymore. I did do a video or two in San Diego talking about this experience, but I just never uploaded it, or I just thought it was messy or weird. Not weird, but just unorganized and stuff like that. But currently living in Oklahoma. We're living in the South, bro. I know. I never thought I'd be here too. But my experience in San Diego was booty. I'm gonna keep it a stack. If I was to give it like a 10 rating, like 0 out of 10, I would give my rating from best 10 out of 10 to 0 horrible. I'd give it about a light 5. I would give it a light 5. Now, I only lived there for 8 months. The original plan was that I was gonna live there forever, because I actually really enjoyed it for the first like 3 or 4 months. But then things decided to change. My living situation, I'll get into that later. Which also tied into how much money I was making. So originally I wanted to stay there. I wanted to live there for the rest of my life. I'm like, it's GG's, like this is the end of my life. I wonder how long I can keep on going. When originally I just wanted to stay there forever because I genuinely enjoyed it. But when I moved there 2 months in, I had no job. I was living off my savings account. For some reason, it was kind of hard to find a job. Oh, sorry, I just snuck a little fart. Anyways, yeah, I moved in January. Didn't have a job towards the end of January. February, didn't have a job. And then March, I ended up getting a job. Now, if you all have not watched my 100 videos, go ahead and watch it. I should probably make a folder so it's just like that it should just like auto watch, because I was low-key last week I was watching or listening to my videos while working, and I was like, dude, I need to make a folder so I don't have to individually click on every single one. But anyways, yeah, I ended up snagging a job at Legoland. Now, I had no idea why or how I even snagged a job at Legoland. I was trying to be a busser for some reason, because I was comfortable at that time. I was like, you know what, I don't want to be a server or something like that, retail. So yeah, my job ended up being 30 minutes away. But yeah, so the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because I live 30 minutes away from my job, and I had to leave like an hour in advance, which is, California, there's traffic, which is really bad, horribly bad. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have a problem. I was actually living check to check really tightly. Lucky for me, I only pay for my car bill and my insurance. So that was about $700-800, and I would make that right on the dot. But for me, I wanted to get my own internet, and obviously I had to pay for my own bills. Eventually, I had about like 2 or 3 months to get my feet back up, to be financially like stable, I guess. But yeah, was a busser for about like 2 months, and then I got moved up to a shift leader at Legoland, primarily the hotel. The job's cool, bro. I love the job. I would have stayed there if my living situation wasn't so poor. But yeah, besides from that living situation, I never really had to pay rent. Now, I live with okay, he was nice enough to let me stay at his house for free, but I wanted to have like residential. Originally I wanted to go to college, have residence in San Diego, because I thought that would be like cool, if I'm gonna be living here for a while, might as well, right? So in order to get something under my name, I paid for electricity. Now, I paid during the wintertime in California. Electric bill is like really cheap, 60, 70, 80 bucks. 80 bucks if you're like using that John 24/7. But yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, like this is not that much, you know. Summertime shouldn't be that much, right? It shouldn't be that much, right? Because one, I live so close to the beach. To be specific, I live like a block away from the beach, which is primarily one of the reasons why I wanted to stay there for a very long time, because I was lucky enough to be in that position. But what was I saying? Yeah, summertime rolls up, and yeah, now the bills are piling up, so it's probably about 3 times more expensive than it was in the wintertime. So I was like, dude, like, how am I gonna have to pay for rent and also pay for this and also pay for my car when I'm working one job? Now, at the time, I was streaming almost every single day because that was the original plan. I want to be a streamer. And then I reached this point in my streaming career that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call myself a streamer. You know, like, I'm getting my views primarily on TikTok. I was clipping like 3 times a day. I was really on that grind, and that was really keeping me going. And that was low-key my second income. It was mainly just tips. Never made a single dollar in any of my videos, primarily just tips. But yeah, even that would help. But yeah, I was kind of like thinking, like, dude, like, how am I gonna make all this money, you know? But so I'm working my job, and just things start to pile up like a snowball. What's like the snowball effect? It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. To be specific, I was dealing with a lot of toxicity. Really toxicity. I didn't really get enough. There's times where I didn't get any sleep, or I'd barely have any sleep, no sleep at all, because where I lived was very bad. There's parties almost every single night, people doing drugs. To be specific, there was a lot of there was this girl that I ran to probably about 4 or 5 months living in San Diego that did. And quick little story time, she was around. She was acting really, really weird, like really weird. It genuinely made me uncomfortable. And so I was trying to help her, but for some reason she was just in a hurry to be somewhere. I don't know where, because she's at a point where she can't even drive. But she ended up dropping like a pot, like a, you know what I'm saying? Like a, and I didn't even realize she did. But yeah, it was crazy, man. I was seeing a lot of drugs that I've never seen before. Something I don't wish on anybody to see. Yeah, man, it was really crazy. And I didn't like being around that. And my room just being so close to everything like that really made me feel so unsafe. My room just had my bed and my streaming setup. I never really decorated it, and my room just didn't feel like home. So I genuinely like just didn't feel like, it didn't feel like home, which kind of sucked, because how am I gonna stay here for a while and not have this feel like home, you know? And obviously I don't want to live with somebody in California, or it's not like I can afford it, because if I genuinely like wanted to live by myself, I'd probably have to have 3 jobs, working 24/7, or I'm just living with a random person. But I didn't want to do any of that because, okay, Sonic, anyways, sorry, Hedgehog is running on the treadmill, or the wheel, sorry. But anyways, yeah, I just did not enjoy being around that, and it really like took a toll on my mental health. Before I even moved into San Diego, my mental health was probably like top tier. I was so motivated, I was disciplined, I was, you know, reading and writing, and I was doing all these awesome things. And yeah, I slowly got out of it just because of my living situation. It just, I realized it like took a hit on me when it started to bother me. Now, Ashton back in the day, or not back in the day, but Ashton before he moved out of Arizona, I'm very strong headed. I have a strong head on my shoulders, and I don't normally get things to bother me. You know what I'm saying? But I realized it started to bother me, and it really like made me upset, and I felt lost because once I realized, I'm like, dude, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Like, I'm stuck here. I mean, not stuck here, but I can't, it just, the energy just was so strong. It just slowly took over me. And I was like, man, like, I don't know how long I can stay here because of everything that's going on. There's a lot of things I've never seen in my life, bro. Seriously, like, I don't know. I kind of missed living in Arizona, but I was just like, man, I told myself I wasn't going to go back, but I need to stop swallowing my pride, and maybe it's okay to go back, right? Maybe it's okay to go back. It's like, throw away your pride, and if you really want to, just go, you know? Dad always said you always have a place at home, which really touched me because whenever I was at my lowest point when I was living there, he called me and told me that, and it really like hit me because I did everything on my own. I moved out on my own, researched, everything on my own. I had no help for nobody. And I was really proud for that. And for me to go back home, I kind of feel like I failed, you know? But I was really proud of myself because I was 21 at the time. And I was like, dude, who at my age is doing all this, you know? Because a lot of people in my class are like, dude, like, I want to move to Phoenix, which is like the bigger town, I guess. I want to move here, blah, 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 X and Y. And then they never do it. They either get like a girlfriend or they're stuck at a 9-to-5 job, you know? And lucky for me, I didn't even have a girlfriend. I didn't have, I mean, I had 2 jobs at the time, but I was easily replaceable. It's not like, oh no, like, you know, it wasn't a big deal. So I was like, you know what, dude, let's just do it. I did notice I stopped going to the gym. Dude, going to the gym was a mission. I had to drive like 15 minutes on the freeway to just go to the gym, and the gym being packed. Like, parking lot is full. I would have to park on the other side of the street, and then the street was too busy to even jaywalk, so I had to like walk an extra 5 minutes to go to the stoplight, cross the stoplight, and go to the gym. And I was not doing that. Okay, I was not doing that. Lucky for me, I lived next to the beach, and I like jogged almost every day. Sometimes I jogged once a week, but yeah, I just noticed myself falling, and it was scary. I think I decided to move when I was around my birthday, whenever I met my girlfriend for the first time. But yeah, the original plan was to go back home and just save up more money and then go somewhere else. That was the original plan, but I was lucky enough to give this opportunity by my girlfriend's parents to stay at this house. So been here for about 2 months. But yeah, my San Diego experience was horrible. I don't know if I would want to live there ever again. I mean, if I was making probably 7, 8 figures, I'd think about it and be like, okay, let's do it. But would I live there again? Hard, no. But yeah, that's basically why I even moved out. It's just toxic environment, just it's too much going on. That's primarily it. I miss you guys. I haven't streamed in a while, primarily because the internet sucks, and I don't like playing VR chat as much as I used to anymore. So I'm kind of like at a brick wall, I guess, of like content. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and comment. Guys, I want to ask, are y'all okay? If you guys are okay, tell me what's going on in y'all's lives in the comment section, or DM Instagram or something, or Discord. I don't know. I just want to talk to people and just see how people are, because it sucks to like be alone. I mean, talking like this sounds like I'm alone, but I really am not. But enough of it. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I don't know when I'll be back. I do want to keep on making videos, but I just don't have any ideas. I do have one idea in mind, but that's about it. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all soon.